8 months ago, I created a video called "The Roman Colosseum Was Intended to Be a Power Station," and I got grief. I got grief on every single channel, my BitChute channel, Rumble channel, YouTube channel, etc., etc. They think I was crazy. I think I've lost my mind that this thing was generating power, right? Well, the next topic is going to generate a lot of heat. I think it's going to go worldwide, and a lot of the shills, like Psyman Dan or whatever, he's going to start attacking me. But what I'm going to tell you is that the world never had winter. Okay, let me explain. So here, this is the Weather Channel. It says 7.3 billion people felt heat from the climate change. There we go, climate change again, right? They're telling you that the climate is changing because of human activity. Whatever I told you, the weather is changing back to what it was before the big event, right? The big meltdown that melted the world. What did this, right? So what I'm saying is, when the big power outage happened, or a big surge of plasma, whatever, hit the Earth, it lost its ability to generate heat, okay? And it also probably did a mini ice age. A mini ice age, right? So you see portions of this area. This area right here, most of the top area right here, went to the deep freeze, like Canada, Europe, Siberia, Russia, right? And this wall of ice came into being, right, after the big meltdown. And now what's happening, it's all starting to melt away. It's all starting to melt away because it's starting to revert back to its previous self. The world was a tropical paradise back in the day because all these buildings were generating heat from the central power source, central arc reactor, whatever, right? So there was no need for doors. Look at this. You don't see any evidence of doors or, insulation, right? All these buildings around the world were producing heat, vast amounts of heat, and we didn't need many clothes, right? These buildings were also pushing water, right? Clean water, air, etc., right? So many of these beings that were in this world didn't need, insulation, clothing, shoes, right? It was all a clean environment with distilled water everywhere, right? So yeah, that's one of my things. But let's go back to this. So another evidence of the big meltdown that destroyed the world and created winters and created this ocean is these buildings underneath the ocean, right? I already did a video on these underwater structures, right? Look at these underwater structures, folks. They're all over the world. Let me see if I can find another one here. Here, look at this. Underwater structures. Underwater structures here in Japan, right? Tell me, why would these beings of the old world build these things underwater? Because they weren't underwater, right? So when the big meltdown happened, this ocean came in, the floodwaters of Atlantis, that's what I'm calling it, came into this area. And this whole section right here started to freeze over, and this section started to freeze over. But now what's happening is, also there's evidence of the buildings producing heat is these volcanoes, right? And what do you call it? The old faithful geysers. Where is it? Like this, right? This is proof that the buildings were producing heat, right? And clean energy, water, etc., right? So now what's happening is there's a big what do you call it? Climate change happening. Supposed climate change, but it's not really climate change. It's reverting back to its former self. So here's a proof right here. So this is from the TFL car. They're based in Denver, Colorado, right? This is January. Look at there's no winter. There's no winter. Look at the skies clearing up, right? I'm telling you, it's reverting back to its former self. Here in Toronto, there's barely any winter now. We get some cold temperatures, but we didn't get any snow this year, and probably hardly anything in the last year. Back in the 80s, there was tons of snow, right? But I slowly noticed, year by year, we were getting less snow and less frigid temperatures, right? Because now, I think 200 years ago, when the big event happened, would freeze the world, it's slowly dissipating. It's slowly going away, right? And this is why they're crying climate change in these, the government's crying climate change so they can tax you more, right? It's not climate change, folks. It's coming back to its normal self. So yeah, what I'm saying is there's no such thing as winter. Also, the chemtrails that they're pushing, the chemtrails that they're spraying in the sky. You notice when they do that, the temperature starts dropping, right? That's more evidence that they've been manipulating the environment, right? They're manipulating the environment to their needs. So us regular human beings, we like the heat, right? We love the heat. These beings from the old world, which I'm not going to name, they probably came from a section of this realm where there was, just winters and miserable temperatures, miserable weather, right? So they're trying to do that to this section right here, our home, right? What else I was going to say? Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I want to say. But yeah, places like Denver, Colorado. Look at this right here. No snow. Looks like fall weather. It's all reverting back, folks. It's all reverting back. Also, in addition, every year they say the glaciers are melting, right? And the sea levels are rising, but we don't see any evidence of any sea levels rising anywhere. Like you go to Miami, you go to Cuba, you go anywhere, right? The sea level is the same. They always do this, folks. They always do this. Scare the hell out of you, thinking the catastrophe's coming, right? It's not a catastrophe. This says docuseries. Okay, CBS docuseries warming signs. The weather, the Earth is warming back to what it was. Okay. Here's another one. Southeast Asian cities face existential crisis as they sink with sea levels rise. BS. And look at the two things I want to show you here. Look at this. How level the Earth is, right? And look at this guy. Give me a Freemason symbol as he lies to you about the sea levels rising.